That's how you feel. That's really how you feel. That's what you want to do? Is that really what you want to do and how you want to play? You sure that's really what you want to do? All right, cool. Bet. That's a bet. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about Houston Texans OTAs, and obviously, as we all know, DeShaun Watson did not show up to OTAs. He still wants a trade. He's still out there demanding for a trade. Doesn't want to be part of the Houston Texans organization. Doesn't ever want to walk through that stadium as a Texan. Don't ever want to put on that Houston Texans jersey ever again. And I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. Like, watching OTA videos, it's been very, very frustrating. Watching teams like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, the Bills with Josh Allen, even the Cleveland Browns with Baker Mayfield, the Jets with Zach Wilson, Trey Lance with the 49ers, Trevor Lawrence with the Jags, seeing Joe Burrow coming back and seeing how the people out there applauding for Joe Burrow coming back, him saying he's only 85%, be out there ready to play, or at least do OTAs and work out with his teammates. Seeing all that is very, very frustrating. Because watching the Texans got OTAs. The Texans ain't like they not doing OTAs. The Texans had the OTAs, and they out there playing OTAs. And it's just very, very frustrating knowing that you have, in my personal opinion, the second best quarterback in the NFL. And if you don't believe that, at the very least, can't argue that at the very least he's top 5 quarterback in the NFL. You have him on your roster, but he's not OTAs because he has beef with the organization and wants to get traded. And it's very frustrating. I know how people feel about the whole allegations. We're going to put that to the side for a minute because we're talking strictly football. It's very irritating and very frustrating because we already know how we waited for the Texans to get a franchise quarterback and to get one and see how good he is. And now you put in a situation where it's just very, very maddening. It's inspiring, and watching the OTA video is very inspiring. Then this whole stupid thing they did with the whole jersey number situation is just the Texans themselves as an organization is a huge joke, and it's you gotta find a way to even find the energy to even do these type of YouTube videos to even talk about, because every time you think about this team you get mad, you want to throw something because it's just why. And it's my team, the team that I root for. Why? Why do we have to be the joke? Why we have to be the butt of the jokes in the NFL? Why? Why we can't lead it to the other teams out there in the NFL? Like I said, and I accepted the fact that DeShaun Watson was going to get traded. I accepted that fact back in March, before the allegations even dropped. I'm like, okay, we're going to get a chance to probably get Trevor Lawrence. I mean, not Trevor Lawrence, but get a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance, or I even was coming around to Zach Wilson a little bit. Then the allegations dropped. I'm like, okay, so now he's definitely not getting traded by the draft. So it's like it's very like we talk about the people talking about the Texans holding DeShaun Watson hostage. Really, DeShaun's holding the franchise hostage, and that's the reason why I started the video out the way I did, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I've had it up to here. Like like for you to be sitting up on this high horse. Oh, I want to be traded. I don't ever want to play for the team again. Like, man, bro, you really don't have a leg to stand on right now. You got bigger fish to fry. Like, you got other situations more than football. And even if you don't want to play for the Texans, sometimes you need to handle this situation first. You handle this situation first before you start taking on the Texans and trying to get traded. Now, maybe possibly the reason why you don't want to show up because you don't want to answer the questions, because you got these allegations, questions coming to you, and your lawyer probably advised you not to do that. And also, you're going to have the trade questions popping up as well. So maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the reason why you're not showing up to OTAs. Maybe that's the reason why. If that's it, I'm cool. I understand that. But if you're still on this holding out stuff, bro, I can't rock with that, dog. Because you really don't have a leg to stand on. Truth be told, you want to get traded, that's cool. Understand all that. And like I said, I'm not giving the organization out at all, because I will never forgive the Texans organization themselves for alienating a top 5 quarterback after it took other teams to mess up. It took the Bears and the 49ers and the Jets and the Jags and the Titans and every other team, from the Browns twice, from 1 to 12, outside the Kansas City, moving up to 10. It took all those teams to mess up for you to even get said franchise quarterback. And you get him, and he's that damn good. And you mess it up by alienating him. I can never forgive the franchise for doing that. But at the same time, you got to hold your feet to the fire as well. And that, like I said, the whole thing about you not answering the phone, I felt that was very, very childish when they was talking about Consiglio them was out there calling and texting, and DeShaun was so mad he wasn't answering the phone. I felt that was very femaleish. That's what females do. Oh, I'm mad. I ain't talking to you. I feel that's what the female do. Men talk. You got issue with me, I got issue with you. We gonna talk that. Either we gonna throw these fists, or we gonna settle it. We gonna disagree. We gonna agree to disagree. We gonna throw these fists, or we gonna squash it. One of the three. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen when men talk. Women the one. I ain't saying nothing. I'm mad at you. I'm not talking. Like I can't rock with that. I felt that. Off the rip. I didn't like that. I'm like, okay, if you mad, I get that, DeShaun, but pick up that phone, bro, and talk. Like that whole, like, I didn't get that, and I said this. I said this going forward, and the SI article came out 2 weeks ago, kind of basically verify how I already felt. They said that Cal McNair's personal lawyer reached out to both Bugsby and Rusty Harden to try to handle the situation before the number got up to 22. I think it was around maybe 14, possibly even when it was just 7 or 5. When it was a smaller number. It was after DeShaun obviously hired Rusty to handle it, and by this time the train was moving for Bugsby. There was no reason for Bugsby to settle. There was no reason but the train was moving. He know I got 22 women in the chamber. I can get this number up real high. So there's no reason for me to squash anything. I got too much momentum. That right there showed me that if DeShaun Watson biggest mistake was going to ask for a trade. Not because I think the Texans setting them up or anything like that. None of that conspiracy theory stuff. Because if the Texans set them up, they just hurt their own trade value. But the thing is, if DeShaun Watson was in good standards and wasn't on this, I need to be traded out, I'm not talking to the Texans. When Rusty would have came to him with the first woman, he would have went to Cal and told Cal what the situation was. The Texans would have handled it. I said this before. People in the comments like, well, that didn't help Zeke. Jerry couldn't help Zeke. That was on film. Like that was, I went in like at a parade, a Mardi Gras parade, something like that. Like that type of stuff was on film. So there was no you had evidence. You couldn't get it past that. And then Ben, his situation, I think she went to the police if I'm not mistaken. So like it wasn't like they went to them seeking out a settlement for $100,000, which was the original report, is that Bugsby went to Harden. Bugsby went to DeShaun and said he wants to sell for $100,000. She wants to sell for $100,000. So that's two different completely situations. DeShaun Watson went to the Texans and handled it, but no, he wanted to be on this high horse. He wanted to do all this, and you had these allegations around the corner. Not saying guilty or innocent or anything. I'm just saying that the Texans would be able to sweep this under the rug, and you would never heard nothing about it if everything was cool with him and the Houston Texans organization. And now we in this situation right here, and it's just a big ass mess, and it continues the whole cycle of the Texans organization being a joke. Now, in saying that, the Houston Texans did draft a quarterback in the 3rd round of Davis Mills. And I don't believe the Texans are going to be a good team this year, and I don't believe Davis Mills is a good quarterback. Contrary to what people believe, people said that they surprised me that I'm not watching the film and I'm agreeing with other people saying. From everything I've heard, people actually talk about how Davis Mills is going to be a good quarterback, or if he would have stayed in college, he'd be a potential 1st round pick next year. So actually, what I'm saying is kind of like the total opposite of what people are saying, because I'm just going by what I've watched on film, and I don't see anything impressive. I just don't. I see a backup quarterback. I see a Brock Osweiler. I just see just an average. I see an average player. I don't see anybody that's of substance, and that's part of the reason why I believe the Texans are going to draft a quarterback next year. I really do. I think they're going to draft a quarterback because, one, they're going to be a bad team. I feel like unless Davis Mills either balls or the Texans are a good team or at the very least mediocre, and they play their way out of a position to draft a quarterback, I believe the Houston Texans will draft a quarterback. That's just how I feel. I believe the Texans will draft a quarterback. I know people out there, the Texans won't draft a quarterback. They're going to roll with Davis Mills in the future. Unless he's good, or unless the Texans play their way out of drafting a quarterback, the Texans are going to draft a quarterback. Part of the reason why is because the Texans are going to be forced to. The reason why they're going to be forced to, let me bring up some numbers to y'all. The Houston Texans themselves is an organization that in their whole entire history have never had to sell tickets. They've always had so, and I know some of the numbers are possibly skewed because sometimes you look in the stadium, they're not full because they got this big, they got this big thing with the whole season ticket holders, and the season ticket holders, the wait list is so long, and so people have purchased season tickets, might not be showing up to the games, but at the end of the day, that's money that the Texas organizations already had. They don't care if that stadium can be butt empty. If they got the money, they got the revenue for it. It don't matter. It don't matter what no matter what's on the field. It matter what's in the books. And if them tickets are sold in them books, they good. They good. As long as the check cash and the check clear, they alright. So that's what's been going on in the past. Last year was a different swing. The Houston Texans didn't even have a full capacity because obviously because of COVID. And I think it was like 13,000 was the maximum. And the Texans barely was having 11, like barely having 11. You couldn't even sell out a 13,000 stadium. Now people are like, oh, it's COVID. We in Texas, People ain't been acting like that. Like, have you seen the clubs lately? Like, I mean, not lately. Did you see the clubs back in October? People was at the clubs. People was in the malls. People was in the restaurants. People didn't care. People was jam-packed everywhere. Before there was a vaccine, people was walking around there, people lost their damn mind. People was just all over the place. So don't give me that. That was the excuse that the Texas organization probably wants to feed into. That's something that they want to believe. They want to talk themselves into. But that's not the case. And you had DeShaun Watson. But the reason why is because you was a bad football team. You had DeShaun Watson lead the league in passing, and you couldn't sell out the stadium. What do you think you're going to do without DeShaun Watson and a bad football team? Do you really think, oh, and there's a vaccine, everything is open now. We got a vaccine, Texas is open, everything is maximized. If you look at the NBA playoffs, them stadiums was full. So you're not going to be able to use COVID no more. You're not going to be able to use that for an excuse. And I guarantee the stadium is not going to be filled. It's not going to be filled the way they want it to be filled. It might be filled with other teams, with other team people, but it's not going to be filled the way they want to be filled. Part of the reason why is because people try to get back their tickets. And so much of a rate that the Texans themselves were telling people, no, you can't sell the tickets back. No, you can't give your season passes back. Like, they was trying to stop people. They had to stop people because they was doing it at an alarming rate once DeShaun Watson officially requested for a trade. So I don't see a stadium being sold out. That's one thing. Two, the Texas organization up to this point has always been able to sell jerseys. Franchise first pick, David Carr. How you feel about David Carr? They're going to sell David Carr jersey. Then you had Andre Johnson. After his second year, he was a Pro Bowler, one of the best receivers in the league. You was selling number 8, and you was selling number 80. Then you mix in Brian Cushings and things like that, Mario Williams, things like that, D'Amico Ryan, things like that. Arian Foster comes in 2010, best lead the league in rushing. Okay, now you got 23 selling. Then 2012 happens, JJ becomes this mega superstar. Boom. Now you selling jerseys on a national scale. You got little white kids in Wisconsin, not even Texan fans, want to buy the Houston Texans J.J. Watt jersey. You know why? Because that's what they identify. Hate to bring race into, but this is how it is. You got other people from other demographics, not from your state, not from your city, want to be part of the organization, want to buy organizational jerseys, wants to buy J.J. Watt jersey. You have Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league, and then the mega one, you have DeShaun Watson. DeShaun Watson, same difference. You have little black kids out there from Georgia, from Carolina, from all these other places buying DeShaun Watson jersey because they want to be DeShaun Watson. You got people who are not from the state, not from the city, buying your jerseys on both scales, from J.J. Watt and from DeShaun Watson on a national scale. If I'm not mistaken, before DeShaun Watson even stepped foot on the field, his jersey was the top-selling jersey in Carolina. And was the second top-selling jersey in the state of Georgia. And the Houston Texans play in the state of Texas. Out of all the players in the NFL, DeShaun Watson was the number 1 selling jersey in Carolina and the number 2 selling jersey in the state of Georgia before he even stepped foot on the field. That's money on another level. That's the luxury that the Texans have been seeing for the past, almost 10 years? Because JJ was drafted in 2011, but he ain't really become a superstar until 2012. So for the past 8-9 years, That's the money, the revenue they've been seeing on a national level. What jersey is a Texan fan, a homegrown Texan fan, gonna buy now? Who on this roster you gonna buy a jersey of? The best player right now is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is the best player on the Texans. And I really don't see people buying a Brandon Cooks jersey like that. If Fuller was still there, maybe. But even I don't really see that with Fuller. And Fuller was drafted. That's part of the reason why I don't think the people really will buy like Brandon Cooks jersey, because he wasn't drafted as a Texan. He's not a mega superstar. It wasn't like you brought in Odell Beckham. Like you bring in Odell Beckham at his peak, or if you go out and go get Julio at his peak, or if you bring in like a receiver like at their peak, and you bring him in like a star receiver at their peak. Like how Hopkins got taken to Arizona. Yeah, everybody gonna buy Hopkins jerseys because Hopkins was a superstar. I don't really see people out there really buying Brandon Cooks jerseys. Like they just want to buy a Texas jersey. Like who knows? Like when you walk inside like an academy or you walk inside a Lids or whatever, Brandon Cooks might be the Texas jersey that they have up there. And like a mom or dad want to buy their son a Texan jersey for Christmas because he's a Texan fan, and that's just a jersey that they end up buying. That's like the only way. But as far as people clamoring, trying to go get these jerseys and them selling really, and the Texans really seeing real revenue from it, I don't see it. That's the reason why. You're going to have to inject, and then like I said, I think the team is going to be bad. So you're going to have to inject some type of energy to get people to go to those stadiums and for you to sell jerseys. You have to do that with stars. That's the only way. Either do it with a winning product or you do it with stars. There's no shortcut because you're past the whole expansion stage where people just buying that, people just happy to be there. We just happy to have a football team. We just happy to have a player. No, you're past that. We're damn near 20 years in. We passed all that. We passed all that. So right there, I believe, especially if a certain someone from this draft class that plays in a conference that's very strong and has a very strong fan demographic in the state of Texas, like the Big 12, goes out and wins a Heisman or takes his team to the college playoffs. He has a big name, and the Texans have a top 5, if not the number 1 overall pick. The Texans don't draft him. The reason why is because you got to inject some energy into your team, into your fan base, because at the end of the day, it's a bottom line business. It's about making money. It's about being in the black or being in the red. And you don't even want to make a profit. You don't even want to break even. You have to make a profit, because if you're just breaking even, it's more so a nuisance. Like it's more so it's more so a pest. If the Texans is not making any money, I can care less about Jack Easterby, about Nick Caserio, Patriot Way, whatever. At the end of the day, it's a bottom line business. If you ain't making no money, or you barely breaking even, or just breaking even, what it is doing for you, it's not doing nothing for you. So either you're going to sell, or you're going to try to find a way to make some money. And it is what it is. It's a simple mathematics. It is what it is. So I believe that's part of the reason why. Now again, all things are different if David Mills goes out there and ball, or the Texans win. Like if the Texans are, I know it's a 17-game season, but I was going to say 8-8. Mine technically can't be 8-8, so it'll be like 9-8. You'll be 9-8. So if you like 9-8 or if you like 9-8 or 10-7, like yeah, okay, then everything comes in, because then you possibly could be playing, especially since they add a new playoff game, a new playoff team. You probably playing for a playoff spot in that situation. But if you 1-7, if you 1-16, if you 3-14, no, you're not. They were 4-12 with DeShaun Watson leading the league in passing, with a quarterback rating of with the second best quarterback rating in the NFL, well, third best quarterback rating in the NFL. Second quarterback rating in the NFL, second in completion percentage, 8th in touchdowns, led the league in yards per attempt. You were 4-12 with that. What do you think you're gonna be with either Tyrod Taylor or a rookie quarterback without Will Fuller? Well, you ain't got no weapons now. Yeah, I like Nico Collins, but I don't like him in this situation. I actually like Brandon Cooks. Don't like him in this situation. I think the running game probably did a little bit better because you got Phillip Lindsay. And I believe the defense is probably better. I actually think the defense is better this year than it was last year, to be honest with you. But the offense is going to take a huge drop because you no longer have that duty quarterback. Because you alienate him again. Like I said, even though I'm irritated with him and I'm frustrated with this whole trade me, I'm frustrated with that bull. But I can never forgive this organization for even pushing him to that point. So I'm mad at both, to be honest with you. If you want to be quite frank, I'm mad at both. I'm irritated with both. And it's very frustrating to be a Texan fan at this point in time. And like I said, it's kind of hard to even find the energy to even do these videos because you're just like, damn, like, bro, really, what's the point? Like, really, what's the fucking point right now? But I say all that to say this, is that the Texans better get their act together in some type of way. They really do. And that's the reason why I believe that they're going to see how bad this is. This year they're going to say all the right things and do all the right things. I believe tanking is the job. And I think it's going to actually help them out because I think it's going to put them in a situation where they can push reset. And they have DeShaun Watson. They're going to be able to trade them and maybe get a good asset guy. I still think DeShaun Watson is warranted probably, especially if you trade him to a team like Philadelphia, who possibly have 3 first-round picks because of the whole Carson Wentz trade. You can still get 3 to 4 first-round picks. Get 2 out of Philly this year, get 1 for 2023, and possibly get 1 for 2024. That might be a little bit stretched, but I think you possibly could. That's what I think you can get between 3. I think you get 2 first-round picks out of this draft, and then get a future first-round pick next year, and you end up getting 3 first-round picks. Obviously, not the haul that we thought we were getting back in February, back in late January, early February. It's not what we were hoping for back then, but. And also, I do believe that this quarterback class was actually better. So it would have been this quarterback class would have been the reason to trade. Even though I found some gems, I've done some research. I found some gems in next year's quarterback class, and I'm gonna do a video talking about those guys and talk about those players. And also, like I said, I'm gonna do a video breaking down the schedule, talking about that as well, and exactly why I see and give y'all my prediction why I see this team actually going to be by the time the season ends, and also why how I think things are going to work out. But to be honest with y'all, like I said, like it's really just that simple. The Texans are going to have to inject some life into this team, so I feel like they will go after a quarterback. People like they're not drafting a quarterback. They're going to take one. They're going to take one unless the Texans are decent or Davis mid-ball. Now, if it's like a DeShaun Watson rookie year where the team was 4-12. But DeShaun Watson played like gangbusters for 6.5 games. If David Mills comes out there and balls towards down the stretch and the Texans still lose because of other situations, then all beans. Yeah, they're not going to trade. I mean, they're not going to draft a quarterback. If anything, they're going to try to build around Davis Mills. But if David Mills looks bad or if he just looks okay, I think that's probably the worst situation. If David Mills looks okay and then, okay, we're going to go with him. And then you're going to end up like a Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett type, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tom Savage, Brock Osweiler situation where you try to put all these nice things around them, a bad quarterback, and then you're going to end up being in a situation where you're going to have everything, but a trash-ass quarterback, and we're going to be what we've been pretty much the franchise's whole, what we've been throughout the whole franchise is, man, only if we had a quarterback outside the 4 years we had DeShaun Watson. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.